Hello everybody, welcome back to Watch with Marcella, where today we are here because, if you can't tell from the posters behind me, I got to attend a free screening last night of The Flash. So good. Okay, so we're going to do this in two parts. We're going to do a non-spoiler review, then later on, we're going to get into some spoilers. This movie doesn't come out till June 16th. So free screeners are happening now, and then the movie drops about a week from now, about 8 days from today. The Flash, 2023, directed by Andy Muschietti. You know him from, he's only had 6 projects before this, being both It movies, and I think the other was Mama. His other big movie was Mama and both It movies. And then Christina Hodson wrote the script. Okay, so, non-spoiler review. What can I say that's non-spoilery? The trailers delivered on this movie 100%. 100%. They also showed you some of the biggest moments from the movie, but I don't even care. That's how good this movie is. I enjoyed it 1,000%. Had a packed, sold-out theater. Who could have been a little more enthused about things, a little more into it, I would say. There wasn't as much kind of audience reaction as I would have wanted, but there was some. This movie was funny. It was action-packed and surprisingly heartfelt and kind of heartbreaking. And one thing that this movie also was why is Iris West in this movie? Iris West is one of the most underutilized characters in all of comic history. There's no point to her. She's basically just tits on a board. She's there to just be a love interest. CW's Flash tried to give her own storyline and some things here and there, and it just still wasn't that interesting. Iris West is a waste. The basic premise of the movie is that Barry is still working to prove his father's innocence by working at the Central City Research Center. He works cases, but he's always behind because he's the Flash. He's part of the Justice League. So he's got to go help fight crime, which he does in an opening sequence that I'm going to say rivals the Evan Peters scene in X-Men The Last Stand. You know the scene I'm talking about. Very similar situations, but this one involves a lot of flying objects. It's a good time. CGI is a bit cartoonish in spots, but that's okay. It was still fun. I still had a good time with it. What else? Let's see. I want to talk about the big spoilers so bad, but we don't want to get there yet. So anyway, Barry's trying to still prove his father's innocence. He's working with Bruce, and there's some new Wayne technology that could prove his father's innocence. But, unfortunately, it does not. And that whole scenario is what kicks off the whole movie. Basically, Barry's going to do Barry Allen things and cause a crisis and a flashpoint and go back in time and try and save his mom. Which just, no matter what story, what version of Barry Allen, poor Nora always dies. She has to. She has to. But Barry, try as hard as he might, does it anyway, and he messes things up a lot. And that is the basic premise of this movie, is him ending up back in time with another version of himself, a different Batman, a different Kryptonian, all against Zod, all things you saw in the previews, in the trailer, so I'm not giving anything away. That is your basic premise. Barry messed up, Barry's got to fix it. And it's good. It's really good. Now, the guest stars. Sasha Calle as Kara Zor-El is fantastic. And can we talk about that suit? A lot of times I complain about women hero suits because they put like these boob panels in them that are just unnecessary. You don't need to accentuate the tits. You just don't need to. And I feel like her Superman suit, her super suit was just amazing. It was just such a good suit. And it didn't, like, you could tell there were breasticles in there, but it wasn't like they added to them like the Power Rangers did. So I like this suit a lot. And she was strong and she was fast. And it makes me wish we could have seen her in Justice League with Cal. That's all I can say about that for this 1 second. So, Michael Shannon's back as Zod. He is a good Zod. He's creepy. I don't think I ever want to meet Michael Shannon in real life because he kind of scares me in every role he's in. He's just intimidating. He's probably a big cuddly bear, but he's so creepy and intimidating. But he's a fantastic actor and he's wonderful as Zod once again. He gets more time to play as Zod and it's such a tiny, tiny part of the movie, but his presence is just huge. What else? Oh, Michael Keaton, of course, as Batman. They got to give him all the notes. You saw it in the trailers. They hit particularly hard in some scenes. You've even got the moon shot. It's all there. It's all there. This is like a proper third Batman movie almost. And it's so much fun. It's just so much fun. That's what this movie is. Fun. All right. Most of you haven't seen it, so I'm going to tell you to leave. I know, I shouldn't kick you out of my videos, but unless you're a spoiler whore like me and don't care, then you should probably go now, because I'm just going to hit a couple highlights from the spoiler section of this movie. One, I'm not going to give away at all. I'm just going to, because it's so big that I don't want to give it away. We'll talk about it. Okay, so let's get into the spoiler section. Ezra brings a certain sense of vulnerability to Barry that Grant Gustin on CW's Flash just doesn't quite have. This, like, he's almost autistic in a way, or at least he plays him that way. He's just a good Barry Allen. And in this, Barry's sole focus is to try and save his dad and to save his mom. He just wants to save his parents. And he goes so far as even saying he could go back and save Bruce's parents, which, that's just a whole God-level complex that Barry Allen always seems to have. But once he gets to the Speed Force, and he's in the chrono bubble, he is presented with a foe that knocks him out of the chrono bubble into a different time. Or he says it's a different time. He thinks he's landed back when Barry was 18. I'm not sure that's what actually happened. I think we've established he's just landed on a different Earth, a different parallel Earth. And in that parallel Earth, Eric Stoltz was in Back to the Future. They make such a big deal about Eric Stoltz in Back to the Future. That's why it's not that he changed, like, okay, he changed time, but I still think he's just on a different Earth. And there, Michael Keaton is Batman. And there, Barry was 18 and didn't have his powers yet. And it was the night of the storm in Central City, so he had to reactivate Barry's powers. Or make sure that Barry gets his powers. But in doing that, he ends up taking his away. So he's got to teach this younger, excitable, weird Barry how to use his powers. And the whole time you're just knowing that this weird foe in the chrono bubble is probably this younger Barry. Or Eobard Thawne is what I kept thinking when I saw the trailers. I kept thinking that it had to be Reverse Flash of somehow. And I guess technically it does kind of end up being that, but anyway. So in this alternate timeline, they find that there are no metahumans, so they go to find but there is a Batman. There's no Superman, there's no Wonder Woman. We're kind of screwed. But there is a Batman, so they go and see him, and it turns out that it is our Batman, Michael Keaton. He's all old, still kicking ass though, even in his kitchen, in his slippers, kicking ass. What a way to what a way to be reintroduced to that character. And they take us through the entire Wayne Manor. Like almost every major scene that we saw in that first film is there. The checkerboard floor with the armory, the giant dining room, Alfred's wonderful kitchen. It's like the same set. I don't know how they did it. Set designers, chef's kiss. You guys are wonderful. It was brilliant. And so the plot from there we need to go get Superman. We need to go get the kryptonite. Barry does, uses some of Bruce's tech and figures out that a Kryptonian landed. It's in Russia. We need to go get it. As you can tell from the trailer, it's not Cal. It's Kara. And Kara kicks ass. What the biggest thing that I didn't really understand and just kind of seemed like a throwaway plot because it wasn't all that necessary is Zod's mission. In the first story, Zod brought the Earth. What do they call it? The God. What do they call it? Planet Maker, Planet Killer. I don't know. Whatever that thing he brought down to terraform Earth for Krypton, for Kryptonians. He's doing that again, but he needed, in the first one, he needed Cal's blood. And I guess in this one, they intercept Cal as a baby, but it's not his blood that they need, and the baby didn't survive. So Cal's dead. Spoiler number 1. Cal never grew up in this alternate universe. And so it's Kara that he needed. And he kills Kara. And that sets younger Barry on this path of having to try and save Kara over and over and over again. And I guess Batman too, because some things happen and Bruce dies. Let's just talk about it for a second. Bruce dies, Batman dies, Michael Keaton dies, and you can't save him. It is an important point in history. It can't be changed. And that's what younger Barry doesn't understand, is that you cannot change time. And our Barry does realize he has to go back and Mom has to die. And that's a horrible thing to try and realize, but that's what happens because he sees all of these multiverses crumbling and crashing inside the chrono bubble. And that's when you get, spoiler number 2, the biggest cameos. And I'm not even going to tell you what they are because that's how good they are. Just know that there are some multiversal cameos that will blow your mind. I'm not going to tell you what they are. I'm really not. I'm not going to do it because I'm gifting that surprise to you. So that is my gift to you. Just know that there are cameos in the 3rd act that are going to blow you away. There is, what is the other? At the end of the movie, there is also another surprise cameo that I'm not going to spoil for you either. Even though this is a spoilery review, I'm choosing to keep some spoilers hidden from you. You're welcome. Just know the end gives you one also. In conclusion, just go see this movie. It is a good popcorn summer hero movie flick. This is what summertime is made for. These types of fun movies. If there was a drive-in closer to me, I would have double billed Marvel and DC with Guardians in this. That would have been a great double feature. I think James Gunn may have a problem on his hands because I know he was going to wipe the slate clean and kind of start from fresh, but this movie is so good and this movie works all the other movies in. It's part Flash movie, it's part Batman sequel, it's part Justice League sequel. It's got everything that you want in a DC franchise. This is the way you take Zack Snyder's Justice League forward. Forget about the other one. This is how we move the DCEU forward. Don't start from scratch. You've got Peacemaker. You've got your Suicide Squad. Marry those two together and let's move forward. Let's not start again. We don't need to start again. And it also took classic DC and everything and just so much wound together and married perfectly. So good. We heard the statement from Tom Cruise months ago that this movie was what did he say, the best DC movie? This movie is really good. I will say that. I liked it a lot. A lot. So, go see it. Stay for the end credit scene. There is a post-credit scene. Only one. There's no mid-credit, just a post-credit. Stay for it. It's fun. It's hilarious. It has no bearing really on the movie itself. It's not like bringing forward the next chapter. It's just fun. It's just a fun scene. But don't miss it. So stay for the end credit. And come June 16th, let's talk about those spoilers, because I'm going to want to hear what you have to say about them. But that is it. I enjoyed it. 2 very enthusiastic thumbs up. I really did have a good time with this one. And I think you guys will too. You will not be disappointed, trust me. Come back, talk to me about it later. Let me know down below in the comment section. And while you're down there, don't forget to like, follow, subscribe, share, do all those things. Can't wait to talk to you about it. Till next time, I'll see you later. Bye.